Hey guys, Marsling in here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so earlier today on the JP official Twitter for Dokkan Battle, they did go ahead and drop a teaser for the anniversary. Now I know people have talked about this already, so this video is going to be kind of more talking about the overall response that this has gotten, as well as the possibilities that this could bring for the future. So it should be muted, or there's music playing in the background anyway. But basically we start off with an image of the Dragon Balls. It zooms in on the 1-star ball and we get the part of the animation from the LR Shadow Dragons. It shows parts of their super attack, LR Shadow Dragons. Then we have the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Obviously this is the part of their intro animation. And then I believe it shows, does it show part of the fusion? Okay, it shows their super attacks as well. So immediately people are thinking, okay, this is a GT video. Everything that we've seen so far is obviously just stuff that is in the game already and is from the previous anniversary. But it cuts out obviously before there is a fusion. We get Dragon Ball Z, Dokkan Battle, and then something about the 8th anniversary. So people's immediate response to this was to assume that the teaser means that the anniversary has something to do with GT. Now obviously it's on the one hand you can say that that is a pretty reasonable conclusion to jump to, but at the same time you do have to remember, as I said as we watched through the clip, that nothing being shown here is new. Now, obviously in a teaser that's releasing this early, I wouldn't expect them to be showing snippets of like the actual new cards or anything like that. So the fact that it seems to be GT themed obviously could lead you to believe that the anniversary is going to be GT themed in some way, shape or form. A lot of people disappointed by that because of course the last anniversary, whilst having a different overall theme, was partly GT themed. But everything we see is in the video is from the previous anniversary. So the thing is, when I first watched it, the initial conclusion that I came to was that it was basically just like a recap of the previous anniversary. Now obviously they didn't show any of the gods and like Broly movie side of the stuff, but it's very interesting the way people do jump to these conclusions. I've seen people, apparently there's already been replies to this tweet in Japanese from the JP player base saying that if the anniversary has like LR Omega Shenron is like an anniversary unit, then they'll quit playing the game. So, you know, I've made it very public on my channel many times that whilst there are a few things about GT that I like, I'm not a huge fan of GT. But I can't imagine being so mad at the anniversary being GT that I would actually consider quitting the game. As much as I don't like it, like I feel like it's hard to argue that Omega Shenron doesn't deserve an LR considering he is the final boss of GT. So it's not something I would particularly complain about. Obviously, when it comes to the anniversary, though, we haven't had an extreme anniversary unit since the first anniversary. So obviously it does remain to be seen. Now, one thing that I do think is kind of funny, all the people jumping to conclusions, acting like the, you know, sky is falling, the world is burning because it's going to be a GT anniversary. I imagine if just tomorrow at the same time they tweet out another teaser that is just a recap of like the gods, and it shows like, you know, the STR Broly that came out as their side banner unit and then like their super attack animations and stuff. Because if that does drop tomorrow, that pretty much just confirms that this is a recap. And, you know, there's been 7 years of the game before now, which means there's been 7 anniversaries, there's 7 Dragon Balls. Each one of these clips, we could get 7 of these preview videos coming out over the next week or two. And each one could be recapping different parts of the anniversary. I guess to be fair, if it was going per Dragon Ball, though, they would have done both parts of last anniversary for this one. But there certainly are a bunch of different options. But again, even though I don't like GT, I don't think a GT-themed anniversary would necessarily be the worst thing in the world, because it's actually crazy to think that we are now, since we are so close to the anniversary, we are almost a full year from this unit releasing on JP, And apart from the Easy A for full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, they haven't released like any buffs for this unit whatsoever. They never got their like Tech God Goku equivalent, like Absolute Beast in slot 1 unit. Everyone was waiting for the heroes, like different Super Saiyan 4 units, Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s, Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, to come out and be potential buffs for these guys. And then of course not only did we not get Vegito, we got the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, of course, are not on their team because they're not fused fighters or GT heroes. So at least a Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito would have been a buff for these guys. So it's kind of crazy to think that this unit came out like a year ago and has pretty much not received any support. And then you look back over the last year and think about how many times movie heroes has gotten buffs. Now, obviously, a new movie came out last year, so it makes sense that there were going to be some buffs to the Movie Heroes team. But it's just wild to me that they released this unit as an anniversary LR and then proceeded to drop basically nothing to help them fit onto other teams and stuff. Like, their links don't help straight away, the fact they have shocking speed. But they could have easily released a character throughout the year that maybe is like a Great Ape, like a Great Ape Vegeta, Great Ape Kid Goku, Great Ape Nappa even, I don't know, as a Part 2 LR or a Dokkan Fest or something like that along the way that had like Shocking Speed, Saiyan Roar, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, like a unit that could work well with this team. Now obviously they wouldn't go on their team depending on the character, but they had options, right? They could do whatever they want. They could have released a unit to help out this this unit, but they did not. So the anniversary being GT themed in some way, shape or form probably wouldn't be the end of the world because it would elevate this unit that desperately needs help. But I brought up the GT link here to have a look at some of the characters that are in the game already. We talked about Omega Shenron. We still do not have a Sin Shenron that transforms into Omega. I'm shocked that we don't have that. Even again, as I said at the beginning, somebody who's not a huge fan of GT, I feel like that is a unit that we should have in the game, right? A Sin Shenron that transforms into Omega Shenron. Now, Anniversary, we're used to all the units being super types, but what with the Worldwide Celebration releasing the new format with a Dokkan Fest LR banner and a Carnival LR in Part 1, and then the same thing in Part 2, I feel like that is going to be the format for the Anniversary, right? I think they pretty much all but confirmed that it is. Which means rather than both the Part 2 LRs potentially being both extreme or just one being extreme or whatever, it seems like they're going to follow that format, which makes it seem like Part 1 is going to be super, one is going to be extreme, and then the same for Part 2, just like the Worldwide Celebration. So if they are doing a GT theme, then of course Sin Shenron to Omega Shenron. Remember this thing as well, the whole thing that's been hanging over the anniversary ever since this statement was made, I think it was in a live stream a little while ago, where they dropped that little nugget of information that apparently the anniversary units this year are going to be characters that have never been anniversary units before. And still to this day, people argue about what that actually means. Like, does it mean that we literally cannot get Goku or Vegeta? Or does it mean we can't get the specific forms, right? Because we've had Super Saiyan 4 Goku, we've had MUI Goku, we've had Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, but we haven't had like Super Saiyan 3 Goku as an anniversary unit. So it depends how specific they were trying to be, or if they were trying to lead people astray, because something that people have wanted to see for quite a long time is like a Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku that then transforms into Super Saiyan 4 with the actual, you know, debut transformation of Super Saiyan 4. We still need an actual good, like, Super Baby 2. We literally only have the LR and then this super old int one that has the same name. So we need a Super Baby 2 that's not called brackets Giant Ape, who could potentially transform. They would be good as a dual Dokkan Fest, like one of them being the Part 1 LR, one of them being the Carnival LR. Doesn't really matter which one's which, to be honest, because Carnival LRs basically are on the level of Dokkan Fest LRs, right? So doesn't really matter which one's which. I still desperately want to see my boy Trenchcoat 17 and Hellfighter 17 fusing into Super 17. Maybe we could actually finally get... Well, I say finally, the AGL one's good, but maybe we can correct the mistakes of this guy right here and actually get a new, really good LR Super 17. That could be fusing Hellfighter 17, Trenchcoat 17. I think that'd be pretty cool. Oob. I mean, we have the Dokkan Fest one that fuses and becomes Marjube. There's also this old STR one. For me personally, I mean, again, not a fan of GT, so I can't really comment based on what the actual fan base of GT would think about this, but personally, I don't think Oob is like the level of being an anniversary character. So it does raise the question of, if it is GT, what do they actually have left to do? So we've covered a couple of things. Like I said, tomorrow they might literally just drop, or a couple of days from now, they might drop another video that shows the gods and stuff like that, which will essentially mean that this video basically wasn't a clue for anything whatsoever. And it could be anything. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think the theme of the anniversary is going to be? Do you think this is a hint at all? I did open up, shout out to my boy Air Dokkan. I actually really like this idea, even though I wouldn't necessarily say, if it was completely up to me, that I would pick it. I actually do quite like this idea. So you see the image here that like an 8 is essentially like 2 spirit bombs on top of each other. So the idea that it is a double spirit bomb anniversary, because we've got Goku killing off Kid Buu, which would also mean that his counterpart LR would be, we would finally get an LR Kid Buu, and then the GT Spirit Bomb Goku, obviously his counterpart could be the LR Omega Shenron, whether that is transforming from Sin or not. And they would both make very good pairings. And somebody in one of the group chats that I'm in also pointed out that the only representation we have of this in the game is a free-to-play unit. And really, the only cards that we have that are a proper representation of this is a free-to-play, like the login bonus. I guess there's that STR Goku that got an easy A, but it's not really like the true, proper representation of like the Spirit Bomb versus Kid Buu. So neither of these units have like top tier summonable characters. And when you consider that like this is the Spirit Bomb that essentially ended Dragon Ball Z, and this is the Spirit Bomb that ended GT, like, whether you think this is a super hype pick or not, I feel like this is a pretty deserving theme for the anniversary. And I do quite like this, even though it is just memes, right? The 8 being 2 spirit bombs. So let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think the theme would be? Is there anything you'd be super disappointed? Or, I mean, for me, as long as the units are good, and like, Beast Gohan releasing recently, I shouldn't say Beast, should I? But Gohan releasing recently is a good example of how not to do it. But like, if they released a unit that was a character that I wasn't particularly hype about, like again, let's say Omega Shenron, if they gave him a crazy busted kit and he has a really good leader skill that you can make a really good like 200% team, then I would be excited to summon for that unit, even though I don't really care about Omega Shenron. So let me know your thoughts down below. What are your top picks? What would be the worst case scenario for you? Let me know all your thoughts down below. But obviously with the anniversary, Dokkan always does crazy well, always hits top grossing, even if it's a theme that a lot of people don't think is super hype. I feel like it's pretty clear that we're going to have another successful anniversary, the 8th anniversary, 8 years of Dokkan, man, and it really doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon. So let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.